They are wondering how change will come to Uganda. Okay, what are we changing? Because many of the people who talk about change don't even understand what they want to change. Some people believe that change means President Museveni stopping to be president of Uganda. For them, that's what change means. For some of them, change means their preferred presidential candidate becoming president. In DP, we have unpacked something called Musevenism. It is a package containing 3 items. The first item is the man called General Museveni. The second item is the machine that he has built for almost 40 years. And the third item is the mindset among Ugandans. All those 3 have got to be changed. How do we intend to change it? As DP, we are proposing a 3-phased approach to change or transition. This doesn't mean that those who disagree with us are not free to implement their agenda. One day I visited an uncle of mine in the village. He's an LC1 chairman and he's an NRM. He's there in the village in Amuro. So I asked him, why don't you want change? So he told me, even me, I want change. You first bring change, then you see if I don't change. So as DP, we believe that many people will change after we have succeeded in our agenda. For now, they are very skeptical. But I see that given our strong stand, many people are now beginning to accept that it is necessary and important to engage President Museveni. So, we have got the so-called regime change fundamentalists who we observe are now beginning to adjust their stand. Why are they adjusting their stand? Because to control the Ugandan state, you need 50% of the votes plus 1 vote. 50% plus 1 vote. Then you control the state. You have a president, you have a cabinet, and you determine what the government does for at least 5 years. Because that is what power means. The Baganda call it obuyinza. So we intend to continue preaching to Ugandans that let us not be bystanders. Because many Ugandans are being deceived that they should wait for the day when their preferred president or their preferred party is in power. But those who are leading that so-called struggle are actually reaping the fruits of being in certain positions. Many of them are in parliament. They are better paid than me because, as you know, I don't have a constituency. So I don't have many of the privileges like constituency allowance, constituency mileage. Okay, the government gives me a car, which I've now handed over for NAM until further notice, which means I was not on foot when I became a minister. The appointment did not find me walking on the streets of Kampala, because at that time I was already almost 55 years old. And I think at 55 years, if you have been working with discipline, you can at least have a VITS at the very worst to move around in. So, this year we will continue preaching the gospel of national dialogue, national reconciliation, and constructive engagement. Actually, I have not seen anybody successfully debating with DP. There is a gentleman who is our chairman of the Electoral Commission, Kennedy Mutenyu. You saw him the last time. He's the one we appointed to chair the DP at 70 this year. He has been scattering some of those people in the media. Sometimes I really pity those who start debating with DP, because DP started by fighting colonial oppression. DP wrote the first ever manifesto in Uganda. So the question is, what are the issues for debate in Uganda? It is about controlling the state. Now, running the state is not for everyone. Some of the comedians I see around calling themselves presidents and what, surely they cannot run the state in a tough neighborhood like the Great Lakes. For better or for worse, God put Uganda in a very, very tough neighborhood. To the north, we have South Sudan, very volatile. To the west, we have Congo, very volatile. To the east, we are bordered by these Turkanas, the Toposas, who keep running around. To the south, no one knows what can happen. Therefore, Ugandans have got to ask themselves, who has the capacity to run the Ugandan state? I know Ugandans are very courageous. You can even find a border and you take him to a Boeing 747 and you say, can you fly this plane? He will say, yes, 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 I can fly it. But then he will reach there and find 500 buttons. He will not know which one to touch. So this is a year that DP is going to educate Ugandans about what it takes to run a state. Even a party. In DP, we have had people announcing themselves presidents and so on. We really don't mind. It is okay. But DP will never make a mistake on who is the president of the party. We can gamble with any other position. We can gamble with other positions on the National Executive Committee. But DP has never made a mistake on that position of the president of the party. The delegates, irrespective of where they come from, whether they are from which tribe, from which religion, they will never hand over DP to somebody who is not serious.